Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pod of War Games cast. I'm your host, EOF Gizmo, joined of course by Xbox Live CW Lanky
Hello.
and the PlayStation's Mass of Das.
Hey everyone.
So I'm joining the boys in the tropical world today. I've gone for sort of a cartoony sort of setting. It really hates my white PlayStation headset though, so that's if I do this, I become whole again.
It looks warm though, which it
I'm-
definitely isn't here at the moment.
I'm
It
feeling
is
very
freezing.
toasty, very toasty. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nippy in England at the moment, so that's fun. How are we this week, boys? Are we happy?
Bloody brilliant.
Yeah, good.
Absolutely fantastic. So we've got a packed show this week. We're going to talk about the Game Awards predictions that we've got, and I'm going to shit all over it the whole time. But
Yes.
before we get to that, let's talk about what we've bought, what we've played. Let's start with Chris Pengelly.
I have bought nothing.
With a K.
Yeah. Okay. And I've really only been playing 2 games, and it's continuation of last week. So I've played much more Halo Infinite multiplayer.
A lot
Now-
more as well. Halo,
I've-
Pengu's is like the driving force of Halo for this our little group now. He's all
Yeah.
over it.
I've put in nearly 24 hours. I think it's like 23 hours and 56 minutes or something on the stats thing. Got the 470 gamer score out of possible. Well, it's supposed to be 600 for multiplayer, but one of the achievements is impossible at the moment because eliminations is not a mode at the moment, so that's an impossible one. And yeah, I've been playing that, doing my challenges, weekly challenges. Got new skin, which I'm never going to use. So I'm not using that armor. I'm using the samurai armor. So I got my samurai armor. Got to level 14 in the battle pass. Now the issue I've got, because I've done all my challenges and stuff, the only challenge I've got is the daily one is play a game of Match Maiden. Here's your 50 XP. So it's going to take a while to get to level 15 at that rate. I guess the only thing is you could, you can just put the controller down and just let the game play yourself, because it doesn't matter if you win or lose or whatever. With for that, maybe I'll try some like more big team battle, because I need to play that stockpile mode for the achievement for that. I've yet to play a game of stockpile, so I've not been able to get that achievement. So a lot of Halo. And then the only other thing I've played is Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, which I've just done the 6th gym in it. So getting a bit further on from last week. I'm finding the wild Pokemon and that, and I know people were saying it before that this is not a great Pokedex, and it's like every wild Pokemon seems to be a Geodude or a Ponyta, and it's like, is there any other Pokemon in this game? And that, like, I've been using like my 5 Pokemon for like ages, and because I've only got 5, not 6, like I think my main one is like level 51 or something already. Where like the last gym I did was like 32 or something, so I'm miles over leveled as well.
Have you been doing the underground? Because that's where all
I-
the Pokemon are, basically.
No, I've not done any of the
Yeah,
under.
that is
underground
where
stuff.
all the Pokemon are. All the different
Yeah.
stuff, the stuff that wasn't originally in the game, is from pretty early on. So like fire types, I think it's only Ponyta and Chimchar, unless you go the underground.
Yeah.
You can get a Houndour in like after one badge, but it's
Ah, okay.
all the Pokemon are in the underground. For some-
Okay, which is good.
which
if
isn't
they're
isn't
new,
in the
but-
normal game.
But
But
I've seen, yeah, I was gonna say, there's people before in the normal game, I can understand that, like what they're saying about it, but still battling in that and see what comes when I go to like the other places and stuff. Still got the 2 gyms, the league, and all that to do. Yeah, that's it. Just been playing those 2 games.
lovely. Well, I'm gonna have a very similar and equally as short what I've been buying. Obviously, it's week 1 of not buying anything. That's down. Just 51 more weeks to go, boys. So we carry on. I've been playing Dirt 5 on the Stadia, because why not? Why not play Dirt 5 on everything? Not going to go for the completion, because they've included all of the DLC in the achievement list, so I won't be buying.
Okay.
Well, I'm not buying the DLC. I'll play the free version I've got with Pro, but that's it. which is fine. It's again, like I've said before, it's just Dirt 5, but on Stadia. It's basically like, I guess, like the PS4 Pro version of the game is the version I would make it most similar to. It's good. Other than that,
So if you only got left to like play it on like PC,
it'll
and then
be
you play it
Steam.
on every.
Yeah, if they want to send me a code, I'll play it on Steam. But obviously I can't buy it, so awkward. Yeah, and obviously I've played as well quite a bit of Halo, not as much as you. I've played like 7 or 8 hours. I've been busy having a work social life, apparently. Who knew? I'm down to the Fiesta weekly challenge. I thought I had something else, but I didn't. So yeah, I've got to do the Fiesta killing spree to get the armor skin. Probably not, because every time I play Fiesta, I get lumbered with like awful weapons, or I just get found upon by a sword pretty much constantly.
I started off really well on that because you got to get killing spree 5 times in like 5 games. Get it in my first 4 games pretty easily. Like the first map, I started off with the sword, so I was like, all right, this is easier. Started off with a thing, and then it took me forever. Well, not ever. I got it in like 10 games to get the 5th one because it's like, oh, I started with the plasma pistol. This is really gonna help me get my killing streak. Yeah, so it is really luck of the draw weapons. Like times with the sword really helped me and stuff like that. Starting off.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the Fiesta as a mode is pretty luck based anyway. But you need like 3 spawns in a row with rocket launchers or something. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those. You just need to get lucky. Or like I found the grappling hook and the sword on any map that you can be vertical is a pretty great way to just like Mortal Kombat Scorpion, get over here, kill people to death is pretty much what I've been doing. I haven't really been paying too much attention to the achievements just yet. I have about 190 GS. I'll sit down and go through that. I need to do some of the training mode ones and the like the weapon drills and all that stuff. So I'll get there eventually. I'm just enjoying playing the game. It is really good. Again, it's still a beta, but I'm really enjoying it. Most of my friends this is playing it. I think when you go on the Xbox stats, it is well over 20 people on my list that have played like a couple hours at least, and I've got a couple friends on like 40-50 hours, which is stupid because it hasn't been out. It's been out like a week. But yeah, it's cool to see that Halo is kicking ass. I've played a very small amount of Forza Horizon, again mostly for achievements. I have the Roads achievement. I got the seasonal playlist achievement today, which is the play 1 in each season, I think. Got that knocked out today. I just need to go around and take some photos of cars. I think that's the stuff I need to do, and that'll be me probably until the DLC for Forza. I've kind of done pretty much every race now. It's like some of the story stuff I need to go and get like 3 stars on, but that's pretty much it. I'm not doing the boards and stuff. I haven't got the patience to look up specific ways to get the ones that are on top of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, not yet. Maybe when the DLC comes out, I'll have the bug again. But I've got quite a lot of stuff to play at the minute, and I've been playing more Witcher 3 because I need to get that finished by December 31st. So I'm plowing through that. I play for probably about 10-15 hours a week, which I know is nothing of The Witcher 3. The problem it has is the side quests are so good that I'm getting kind of pulled into them, and I'm like, well, I need to finish the game. But then I'm like, oh, I actually kind of want to see what happens with this character and this character, and it's a killer. I've literally avoided Gwent. I've literally gone out of my way to not touch Gwent because I know after it dragged Craig in, who doesn't even like card games, I was like,
you're a monster, Dave.
Well, I love card games. I would sit there and just play Gwent. That's the problem. So like maybe in 2022, once the game's, if we ever get that fabled Series S version of the game, that I'll do the DLC on that when that comes out. But yeah, I'm still enjoying The Witcher. The Witcher is a great game. If you haven't played The Witcher 3, it's readily available now, so I do highly recommend it. But yeah, that's it. Obviously, I haven't bought anything. Life is okay with games. I have played a very small amount of Pokemon, like maybe an hour. I'm just waiting for an opportunity to sit down and just play it. Probably be. I mean, I've got a 5-day break at Christmas. That'll probably be when I play it because I'll have nothing better to do. So. I love it. So, Craigo, what have you bought and what have you been playing?
So I've been playing some more Halo, like you always. Probably nowhere near as much as Chris, but a little bit. I've did have a little spree. I went through and got like some of the achievements, like the training mode ones, like you said. Picked up all those, like the easy ones, like watching a theater game and all that sort of, schmoz. Yeah. I have found that like I've almost like ignoring the challenges now because I'm just kind of like I'm just done with them. I'm just like I cannot be asked with this. So I've just been playing like kind of ranked matches and stuff like that, and just like kind of screw the battle pass for now until they fix it. which is fine because I'm sure that eventually they will fix it and do something different. So yeah, Halo, a bit more Forza. Still, I haven't got the roads achievement like you yet, Dave. I still need to do that. I've just been kind of going around and doing the races I hadn't done. I've still got quite a few more to do, and just doing like the seasonal stuff to try and unlock the cars that way. Other than that, I played a bit of Echo Generation on Game Pass, which is like a Game Pass indie. This was not good. This actually,
I said it didn't look good.
well, actually, so the art style and the graphics are really good.
Okay.
The actual ideas of the game are good. Even the battle system's good. Like the mechanics of it are good, and it's turn-based. I don't like turn-based stuff. The issue is it's so unbelievably unbalanced that it is just painful to play. Like the enemies do so much damage to you, it's ridiculous. Even if because you can like dodge if you like time pressing a button as they're attacking, stuff like that. Even if you like hit a perfect dodge, they will still hit you and take like half your health straight away. You're like, that sucks. That's really quite annoying actually. And then it's got like annoying things where if you like die, which you will, and you use your items, all your items are now gone. So you respawn with no items. You're like, well, how do I get more health items? This is really badly designed. So you have to like either dashboard it and hope that it didn't save and try again, or somehow get some items. But then obviously you've lost the money. So it is awful. It sucks. I kind of wanted it. I wanted to play more because like I said, I enjoyed like everything other than just how unbalanced these systems were. But I persevered for like 2 hours and was like, nah, I'm done now. I think I got to like the second boss, and I was like, I cannot be arsed with this. They've made it too inconvenient to play. Like it's just, I shouldn't be like annoyed playing this game. So yeah, I gave up on that. Would not recommend that. Like the only way I'd recommend it, I think Simon played it. I think he might finish it as well. But I think you must have to literally just grind like crazy to get your characters leveled up, just to do like the second boss, which I'm not doing in a Game Pass indie game. You can sod right off. So yeah. I would avoid Echo Generation for now at least, definitely. And then other than that, I did pick up. I haven't got it to hand, but I did pick up Guardians of Galaxy in work.
You bought a video game, bloody
I did.
hell.
I did.
What a day! Me and Chris didn't. What a day to be alive this is.
I know, right? It wasn't too expensive. Actually, I was going to get it on Amazon.
It's dropped dramatically, isn't it? Quite
yeah,
quickly.
It was 35 on Amazon. I looked in work; it was 28, so it's like 25 if discounts, which is considering it's only been out for like a month, maybe.
Yeah,
it's silly cheap. But I've not even done the first level. I only played like half an hour before work the other day, just to kind of see what it's like. Looks very pretty. There are 3 different.
They added a new one.
modes.
They added a ray tracing mode, didn't they?
Yeah,
Well?
I don't know which one you're playing on because I don't know how far you've got.
I'm playing on performance because it's at 60 frames. So
Yeah, I put it straight onto ray tracing just because I wanted to know what the difference was between quality and ray tracing because you would have thought like quality would just be the ray tracing mode. It seems a bit redundant to have 3 modes.
yeah, like I said, they added it in. So
Yeah,
I expect it's got to a point where you either use the performance or ray tracing, and the quality one you kind of bin off. Plus,
Yeah.
I don't think ray tracing was on the Series S. I don't think it was added on the Series S. It was only
Yeah,
I would doubt it.
It was only added on the Series X and PS5, so that again, quality mode on Series S might be something useful, and then like the One X and PS4 Pro maybe quality mode is useful over performance. I guess that's my only thinking. It's a carryover from last gen enhanced consoles and the Series S, and ray tracing or performance really for PS5 or Series X.
Yeah, definitely. It does. Like I said, I've been playing it so far with ray tracing on disc because I want to see what it looked like, and it does look very pretty. Especially with HDR as well, because there's a lot of like bright colors, a lot of like neon in this game, and the soundtrack so far has been like ridiculously good. I will say that. Just like I think you start off, you can like flip through the tracks that are in the soundtrack, and there's some bangers in there, Dave. Absolute bangers.
Well, I look forward to playing it in 2022 Christmas period.
Yeah, unless it somehow comes to Game Pass.
It might do Square Enix, so it might do. To be honest, like look
Mm.
at what's on there. There is a chance.
Yeah, so that's it. Obviously, I'll probably play more of that this week, so we'll be able to actually talk about it a little bit more next week.
Yeah, it's what I'm getting to after I finish Pokemon. That is
What
the
about
next.
Shin Megami Tensei 5, Chris? I thought that was
No,
next.
it's Guardians of the Galaxy
okay.
next.
R.I.P.
Shall we
Shin
get
Megami.
Tensei 5 getting finished before the end of the year?
Absolutely not. There's
Yeah.
only a month
What's
left.
the
of year,
caveat, though, Chris? What's
Pardon?
the caveat? Unless it's rubbish.
Yes, it's rubbish. Yeah.
Which it will be because it'll be too hard. So another one bites the dust. Anyway, speaking of end of the year and absolute joke shenanigans, segue. Topic of the show. Let's talk about the Game Awards, the Keeleys. Obviously, we've talked trash about the Game Awards on here before. I think they're rubbish, but for the sake of this episode, we're gonna do some predictions. So let's flick over from our beautiful faces. There we go. So you should see this lovely list of their categories. We've got some bangers in here, like for example, Content Creator of the Year. Won't be looking at any of that. So well, you're not seeing my face. I don't need to be enlightened, do I? So let's go. So we're going to go through this in the order that the boys tell me, because obviously they care, I don't.
No.
And we're going to make our predictions for who's or what is going to win. So, first up, boys, what would you like me to look at?
So if you just go to most anticipated and then basically work backwards from there.
Most anticipated game. So I've clicked on. Let's go through the nominees then, shall we? So we've got Elden Ring from Software Bandai Namco, God of War Ragnarok from Sony Santa Monica, Horizon Forbidden West from Guerrilla, the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is a really catchy name. That's from Nintendo, and they've chucked in an Xbox game, I think, just for pity. That is Starfield from Bethesda Game Studios.
Yeah.
So, boys, this prediction is what we think is going to win, not what we would vote for. So
that's correct.
So let's start with Craig. Craig, of those 5, what is your predicted victory?
So I think God of War and Horizon will split the PlayStation vote. So I weirdly don't think it'd be one of those two. I don't think Starfield will win because I don't think there's enough of a Xbox vote there, in all honesty. So I think it'll either be Elden Ring or Breath of the Wild. I don't know if enough people believe that Breath of the Wild is actually going to come next year. And Elden Ring won this award last year, I believe. So it would make sense for it to win it again, as it's still not come out. And it's coming fairly soon as well. So it's fresh in people's minds, and there's had a lot of big previews. So I would imagine Elden Ring will win.
I agree. I think it will be Elden Ring. It's either going to be Elden Ring or God of War. But I think that because they've just had that network test, people have played Elden Ring, and now people are going to want Elden Ring. So and most of the games industry people are big From Software stands. So yeah, Elden Ring. Is it a 3-way, Chris, on that one?
I am also going to Elden Ring, and also it just won exactly the same award at the Golden Joysticks. So it won it there, so I can't see why it wouldn't win it here.
There we go. So that's the easiest one so far. So let's work back. That's best debut indie game. So we have got The Artful Escape from Annapurna. We've got the Forgotten City from whoever that is. We've got Kena Bridge of Spirits, which is a Sony published game. Not really very indie, but there we go. Sable and Valheim. So let's start with Craig again for the sake of making the list easier. Craig, what do you think?
I think it's kind of difficult. I don't think Sable's got a chance. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that's there. In all honesty, the Forgotten City is one that a lot of game industry Twitter people bang on about. So I could maybe see that. I mean, I'd like to say Artful Escape, but I just don't think it will, even though it is a really good game. Valheim obviously had that peak, didn't it, where it was really big on Twitch and loads of people were watching it. But I don't know if there's a big crossover between that and games journalist voting, if that makes sense. So I think it's either Kena or the Forgotten City. I'm going to go for Kena just because I feel that's a safer bet.
That's fair. I'm personally going to go a bit different this time. I'm going to go for Valheim because obviously this has got an element of user voting as well. And I feel like Valheim's got a community, whereas I feel like Kena Bridge of Spirits, it came out and then no one talked about it. Sable, I just don't think it was that good. Forgotten City, again, not a clue. And Artful Escape, only you've ever told me about. And I feel like the Annapurna bubble is maybe starting to burst a little bit. So I don't know.
They're the publisher because it's debut indie. So it's actually Beethoven and Dinosaur is the developer here for that.
Yeah, but it's, I don't want to be that guy, but independent, anyway. Let's not describe what the word indie means, because we could get in trouble. But anyway, I think Valheim for me. Chris?
I'm also going Valheim just because I don't think the others are going to have enough fan base behind them to vote. Even Valheim, if there was something. Well, I'm trying to think of another indie that could be here, but it's a very tough category to pick. But I think because of Valheim with the Twitch and stuff like that, there's going to be a little bit of a fan base there to vote for it.
Lovely stuff. Right, so we're going to ignore Content Creator of the Year because I just don't care. Yeah. So let's go to Best Multiplayer. So, Best Multiplayer, we have got Back 4 Blood, Knockout City, It Takes Two, which is a co-op, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and Valheim again. So this is actually a lot more difficult. Craigo, where do you go?
It's weird that It Takes Two's there because it's a co-op game, but I guess it does make sense in a way.
Because I guess technically multiplayer, yeah. So it's two people is multiplayer.
Yeah. Same as Back 4 Blood, Nick. I know that does have a PvP mode, but it is mainly a co-op game. I'm going to go for It Takes Two because I think people are going to vote for that kind of to be different, as to be not your conventional multiplayer. I'll go It Takes Two for that.
Very good. I feel like this is the toughest one so far, because I think Knockout City, as good as it is and as popular as it was, that I feel like that has dropped off completely.
Yeah, it didn't last very long, didn't it?
No, Monster Hunter Rise is very much. If you like Nintendo, I don't even that. I think if you're a Monster Hunter fan, you're still playing it. But is that big a community on here? So
it sounded like it had a worse multiplayer than Monster Hunter World as well.
Well, it's because it was on Switch. That's
they went back to what it was on the 3DS and Wii and stuff.
The previous Switch games, the cross generation, whatever it was called. The people that have played Monster Hunter Rise tell me it's very good, but it's one of those that I don't think it's going to get the votes. I'm going to go for New World, I think, because it is an MMO. And and I know quite a lot of people that have played it and enjoyed it, so we'll see. I mean, I think It Takes Two could win it just because it's probably the best game on there. I think Back 4 Blood doesn't stand a chance, and I think Valheim, compared to the rest, probably doesn't either. So I'm going to go for New World. Chris, what are you going to go for?
Bit of a weird one because, like you said, they are all multiplayer. That's why there's no when I think multiplayer, I think Halo Infinite, which you've just been talking about. Obviously, that's the wars are going to be before Halo Infinite's even out. Due to the community and I think how many people have played it and enjoyed it, I'm going for Monster Hunter Rise.
Okay, I mean you're the only one of us that's played it, so I think you're the only one that knows really anything about it. Yeah, so that's fair.
That's a nice three-way split there on that one.
Right, let's go to the absolute biggest joke of a category here, by the way. Best sports and racing. So fighting game can have its own thing, but racing games can't.
Yeah, but racing is a sport, surely.
Yeah, so it's fighting, Chris.
Well, Mortal Kombat, it's not really...
just Forza Horizon, real rally racing, or...
I guess that's how I'm thinking.
I mean, Hot Wheels Unleashed is on this list, Chris.
If let's say there was a new UFC game, I would put it in here, or new Fight Night. I would put it in sports.
What do you reckon the F in UFC stands for?
Fighting.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it in the fighting game category. I would put fighting game category like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
I still think
roast.
Racing. That's the best conversation I've ever had.
So Craig, you're the tiebreaker on that conversation.
I think UFC game should go in both just for the bands. I think that'd be hilarious.
It's a fighting game and a sports game.
Do you think racing should have its own category, Craig? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Considering that, so there's 5 games here, 4 of them are racing games.
Yeah, it really should. You're right.
Like, did you
But
need?
there is another split category, at least one more.
Did
I
we
think.
need FIFA to be here?
I guess the only problem.
You're just annoyed it's not PES.
There's only
That's just never
one
making it.
sport. I guess sports that's not a racing game here. So if they just had a sports category, what would have been
Football
the
Manager.
5 games? Yeah, I guess.
FIFA.
NHL.
MLB
Where would,
The Show.
Where would F1 go as well? Because that's a sports game and a racing game. Oh, this is a can of worms we've opened.
Yeah.
up, guys.
Anyway. Let's
Yeah,
just.
we're all
let's
going to
just-
say Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah.
aren't we?
So we've got
Yeah.
we've got F1 2021, FIFA 22, Forza Horizon 5, Hot Wheels Unleashed, and Riders Republic. I mean, I think we agreed all 3 Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm writing it in before you've even said anything.
There we go. So let's go back from that to best sim and strategy. Don't see
There it
Football
goes.
Manager here either. We've got Age of Empires 4, Evil Genius 2, which I didn't even know was out. I guess it's just out on PC. Humankind, Inscription, and Microsoft Flight Simulator. So we've got quite a heavy Xbox theme here. So I've only... so we'll go with Craig first, sorry. Craig, have you played any of these?
God, no. Absolutely not.
Okay.
I know, like, Inscription, the people that have played it, the games just played it, absolutely love it, but I have no idea what it is.
No.
Absolutely no idea. It looks like some sort of card game, obviously. It's tough because I'm pretty sure, obviously, my Flight Simulator came out last year, didn't it?
It did.
So it's a strange choice that it's in this again, just because it's been ported to like
I
consoles.
think it might have missed the cutoff last year or
No,
something.
it didn't, because it won it last year. So
Did it?
Yeah.
Weird. That is really weird.
Yeah. So I mean, by that logic, I guess it would be between like Age of Empires and Flight Sim, I would assume, as someone who knows nothing about this like genre of games. On the logic that it won it last year, I will go Flight Sim. Although I can see that maybe hurts it as well, but I don't know enough about the other games. I'd just say Flight Sim.
So for me, this is a really strange strategy. I've been reading the word strange category because other than Flight Sim, none of them have really made a sort of continuous splash. So like Humankind came out and reviewed really well, but then again, I know people that are into these type of games. No, they didn't play it or they don't talk about it. Age of Empires 4 is exactly the same.
I played it for like 2 or 3 days. I played it like heavy. I put in like 15, 20 hours of it, and I've not gone back to it since.
No. And obviously, Inscription I've never heard of, and Evil Genius 2, it's not out on console yet, so I wouldn't even think about it. So, in my mind, it's Microsoft Flight Simulator or Age of Empires 4. So I'm going to have to go, for the sake of being different, I'll say Age of Empires 4, because I feel like if they won it like last year, I think I'm talking bullshit. It's going to be Flight Sim. Just put me down for Flight Sim. I'm trying to think, like, the people that are going to vote on this are all the people that are going to have played it on console as well, aren't they? So, yeah, Flight Sim. Chris?
Okay.
I'm going for Inscription.
Okay. Any reasons or?
Because it is the one that is the indie darling of the thing here, and will get a lot of votes from people that like that studio and their games before, so that's why it will win.
Okay. Well, we're going to the next strategy, which they've called Best Family, but it's actually Best Nintendo Game.
Plus EA.
Plus that one EA game they've stuck in, which is about a family breaking up. So, okay. So, Best Family, we've got It Takes Two, Mario Party Superstars, New Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and WarioWare Get It Together. So, Craig, of those 5, what do you think is going to win?
Nintendo.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go for the non-Nintendo game winning the Nintendo award. I'll go for It Takes Two. Just because I think that this is going to win a lot of awards but it's nominated for Game of the Year as well. But I don't think it'll win that, but I think it's going to win a lot of the other awards that it's nominated for. So yeah, I'll go for It Takes Two. I don't see like WarioWare. I have no idea what that is, but I cannot see that winning. I mean, Super Mario 3D World's an old game that's just been ported, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got an extra mode, but yeah.
Yeah, New Pokemon Snap. If that wins, there's something wrong with the world. I guess Mario Party could win, but yeah, I'll go for It Takes Two.
So, this is the category I've actually played almost all the games, and I can tell you, I think it's going to be It Takes Two. For the simple reason is, as fun as all 4 of those Nintendo games are, none of them are standout games at all. So, like, New Pokemon Snap was a weekend that some people enjoyed when it came out, and that was that. Mario Party Superstars hasn't been out that long, and it's basically just a remake of a very niche title now. Super Mario 3D World, I think people enjoyed, and they really enjoyed Bowser's Fury, but it was so long ago. You know what I mean? If people saying if that's still people's thought, and WarioWare, as fun as WarioWare is, it's it's not the best family game. I think It Takes Two takes it, to be honest. Chris?
I'm also going for It Takes Two because I think all the Nintendo games are good games, but none of them are like great top tier.
None of them are Mario Kart, are they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, like if Mario Kart 9, for instance, was in this category, that would win hands down. But I don't think any of these Nintendo.
But that would be in best racing and sports games, surely.
It would be in best racing. Also, I think because there's 4 Nintendo games, like it kind of splits the Nintendo vote as well. So I think if you're only on Xbox, or only on PlayStation, or you're only on PC, It Takes Two is basically what you've got to vote for here. So that's also what I think is going to win.
Okay then. So we'll move on to the controversial best fighting.
Yeah.
So we've got here, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles.
Well done, Dave.
Thank you. Guilty Gear Strive, Melty Blood Type Lumina, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and Virtual Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. Craig Warren, which of those 5 do you think is going to win?
I would love it if Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl won this. That would be that would make my year, boys. That'd be a thing, wouldn't it? So the only one of these I have any like relevance or knowledge of is Guilty Gear, because Chris bought it and watched that 3-hour anime and then sold it.
Yeah.
It did get me a lot of points on Fantasy Critic though, so that 3-hour anime must have been great. So I will go for Guilty Gear Strive because of that 3-hour anime, and because I've not heard of Demon Slayer, Kinetsu. I give up on that, and Melty Blood. I have no idea what they are. So yeah, Guilty Gear.
Well, the picture for Mighty Blood looks like the most low budget hentai anime dirtiness I've ever seen. So I'm going to go for Guilty Gear Strive because it's clearly the best game. It's an Arc System Works fighting game. If you like fighting games, that is where you'll go. For banter, I'd love Nickelodeon or Star Brawl to win. But I don't think it was that well received. As fun as it is to have SpongeBob, like next year when you've got the WB one and people can get on the Shaggy memes, I think But this time around, I'm going to go for Guilty Gear. Chris?
I'm also going for Guilty Gear because it's the best game.
It's the best anime.
I played like that version. I played Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, and it's awful. Like it's just here. It's just here because there was not another fighting game out this year. It's like this is the 5 that came out.
They couldn't justify putting Smash on here again. Like Virtua Fighter 5 is literally, isn't it built on the Yakuza engine randomly? Which is very strange, but there we go. Okay, so we've got best role playing. Here's a few controversial ones. Chris is not going to be able to talk about most of them because he hasn't played any of them. Cyberpunk 2077, which came out last year. Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5, which has just come out. Okay, and Tales of Arise. So, Craigo, you've obviously played one of these, the most anime one of all of them, which is quite funny. What are you going to vote for?
I think this is quite a difficult one. I mean, Cyberpunk surely won't win. I mean, it would be great if it did. It'd be hilarious if it did, but I can't imagine it will. Even though I know people that played.
I did look to see when it came out. I think it came out the 12th of December, so it came out after the last year's Game Awards. So that's the weird thing with these being early. This award being early December, not in like January or like the 30th of December. You get that weird things like Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I can't imagine Scarlet Nexus is going to win because like I played it and it's good, but it's not like I don't think it's award-winning good. So I mean I would say it's probably between Monster Hunter and Tales of Arise. It's really hard to pick between those. I mean, Chris made the good point that it has a bit of a community, Monster Hunter, so maybe they'll get behind it. But I'm gonna go for Tales of Arise.
Very nice. I'm going to go for Cyberpunk 2077.
Nice.
Because I think this is the game that most people have played. So in my mind, and I think people that play it now are kind of getting behind it a bit. I think people in the industry want to like it as well, so I think it might get a few backhanded, dodgy votes. I think the best game on here is probably Monster Hunter. Tales of Rise came out. I remember being really excited for it, and no one has talked to me about that game at all. So, but it seems like a good showing this year from Bandai Namco because they're getting lots of votes on these awards. But yeah, I'm going to go for Cyberpunk. Chris?
I'm going for Monster Hunter Rise because, much like I said earlier, due to the community, I think it's sold ridiculously well as well. So we know there's a lot of people that have played that game compared to like you said, Shin Megami Tensei 5 only just come out. It could be the best game here, but how many people actually played it? Well, let's say 1 million, well, Monster Hunter sold nearly 10 million. You got so many more people that would have played that game. So you'd think it's gonna get more votes.
We shall see.
Mm.
Right, so we go from romping to Best Action Adventure. We have got Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. So this is a difficult one because there's 3 Game of the Year contenders on here? 4 maybe?
4 of them I think were nominated for Game of the Year.
So I think Guardians wasn't for sure.
But, only Guardians isn't up for Game of the Year.
So Craig, of those 5, what do you think?
It's a tough one because best action game, you would say, well, I guess Resident Evil. I get maybe Guardians. But I don't think either of them will win. I'm not really. It's a tough because I feel like Psychonauts could win it, but I wouldn't really say that's an action game. So I mean, I'm going to plump for Psychonauts because I don't think it's going to win Game of the Year, and it probably should win something. So yeah, I'll go for Psychonauts.
This is really tough because for me it's either Metroid Dread or Ratchet & Clank that are going to win this because people that vote for one of them on Game of the Year are not going to vote for it here. I'd love to live in a world where Psychonauts 2 wins this, personally, but I think Ratchet & Clank is going to win this award because it won't win Game of the Year. Chris?
I'm going for Metroid Dread because I think... I've actually I've played 3 of the 5 games here and played a bit of Guardians. I think it'll win just because of the Nintendo fan base of that, and it's the Nintendo pick here. And this is why your Ratchet & Clank is also a good shout for vice versa with the PlayStation fan base. But I'm going for Dread here.
Fair enough. What have we got here? There's Best Action Adventure and then Best Action.
Yes.
Right.
Oh okay. God, I'm gonna have to change. I put Best Action for the last one. Let me frantically.
Best Action / Adventure and then Best Action. There could have been a better name for this. This is a weird one. Okay, so we've got Back 4 Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop, Far Cry 6, and Returnal. So this is a game focused primarily on combat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or action, Dave.
Well, they should have just called the last one Best Adventure Game, then, shouldn't they? Anyway, so Craig, of those 5, what are you thinking?
I think so. My logic here, I mean, can't see Chivalry winning, so we can Chivalry and Back 4 Blood don't stand a chance. I guess Far Cry probably doesn't stand much of a chance. So it's Deathloop and Returnal. I think so. My thought process is that anything that Returnal or Forza are up for, they might win just because people will be annoyed that they didn't make the Game of the Year.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're gonna try and get them to win as many other awards as they can. Which is weird because I get to Deathloop when we for some of the later awards. I think it's going to win some of the later ones, but I think Returnal will bizarrely beat Deathloop in this one just because of that.
I agree. I think Returnal wins this because of what you said, because it's not up for Game of the Year, and
people totally agree as well.
So
I think it will win quite comfortably.
Right, are we going to bother with VR?
No.
Lone Echo 2 will. Well, actually, Resident Evil 4 mostly win it because it's Resident Evil, but Lone Echo 2 mostly should win it, but there we go.
We're not bothering that, don't worry. We're not bothering with innovation in accessibility, not because we don't care, because we actually have no feasible opinion that we could give for accessibility, because we're all able-bodied people, so we can't give any good insight into that whatsoever. Best community support, I don't. That's not one for me to look at. No.
I think there's quite an obvious winner there as well in there. So
mobile game. Should we click on that for a banter?
Yeah.
Why not?
Can do.
Why not? Best mobile game sponsored by Verizon. I've played one of these. Fantasian, Genshin Impact, League of Legends Wild Rift, Marvel Future Revolution, and Pokemon Unite. Craig, take a pick.
This is literally bingo for me because I have no idea about mobile gaming. I mean, one of them had the word Pokemon in it, so I'll go for whatever Pokemon game it was.
Pokemon Unite.
Pokemon Unite, there we go.
This is the Pokemon MOBA. So that's actually one of the 2 games on here I've played. I keep forgetting the Fantasian is stuck on mobile, and it's upsetting that it's stuck on mobile, so I want to play it.
Yeah, I was going to say that's mostly the best game here. If you're going for the best game, but it won't be what wins.
No, the winner will be Genshin Impact. Up to China.
Yeah, it's weird because I know it's on mobile, but don't ever think of Genshin Impact as a mobile game. I think PC or PlayStation, but Pokemon will win because it's Pokemon.
Fair shout. So let's get out of that trash. So we've already had best debut indie. Let's go for just generally best indie. We have got 12 Minutes, Annapurna, Death's Door, Devolver Digital, Inscription, Devolver, Kena, Ember Lab, and a Loop Hero, Devolver. So the Devolver Digital Award. Craig, what do you reckon is going to win that?
I mean, if 12 Minutes wins, then there should be some sort of riot because that game is nowhere near good enough to be up for any best indie award. I don't really understand how that's got there.
It's voice cast. That's why it's up there.
Yeah, but even that is, I wouldn't say that's enough. I see. Inscription's a tough one because, like I said, I know nothing about this, but it is, there's been a lot of talk about on Twitter. I'm gonna go for Death's Door just because I feel like when that came out, there was a lot of people talking about it being like a Game of the Year nominee. So it's probably the best chance of a indie game being in the Game of the Year. So I'll go for that just because it's got probably the biggest name recognition.
And it's just come to PlayStation and Switch as well, so it's got a bigger audience now than it did. So
I also am going for Death's Door because that is the obvious pick for me from that list.
Okay. I'm going for Loop Hero of this because that's just the one I think will win.
Okay.
Is that on the Switch now as well? Or is it...
It's just come to Switch as well. So it's PC and Switch. Can't get much indie than that.
Are we going to go on best? Are we bothering best ongoing?
It's up to you.
Do we care, Craig?
I personally don't.
No.
Games for Impact?
Yeah. Gotta do Games for Impact.
Right, we've got... it's trash indie. I know what this is now. This is a pro-social meaning or message. Sorry, I threw up all over my mic. Before Your Eyes, Boyfriend Dungeon, Chichery: A Colourful Tale, Life is Strange: True Colours, and No Longer Home. Craig, as the resident indie boy here, what are you going for?
I have no idea what Before Your Eyes are, or No Longer Home. No idea what those two are.
I know I've played Before Your Eyes, and I know.
Oh, is that the blinking game?
It is the game where you play with just your eyes. When I think it should be in we missed accessibility one. It's the sort of one you literally just play it with your eyes, and if you went back to that, you had the game where you could have played if you were blind as well, which I'm surprised is not in here for that. But yeah, I can kind of get why it's in for the Impact Award.
I'm surprised Boyfriend Dungeon's in it because there's a lot of random uproar about that game for not much of a reason. I know Chicory reviewed well, but I've not heard anyone talk about it. I have no idea what it is. I'm going to go for Life is Strange because I think that's the safest punt. This is the Life is Strange award, basically, isn't it? So yeah, I'll go for Life is Strange: True Colours.
That's fair. I'm going to go for Chichery because the kind of people that vote on these things are the kind of people I've heard talking about it. So I mean, like you said, Life is Strange is the only proper game on here, so whatever. But yeah, Chichery for me.
Cool. It's me. Maybe it shouldn't win because I don't really know what it does in terms of impact, especially as I've played it. But I'm going for Life is Strange: True Colours just because it's the game that's mostly being played by the most people. It's just obviously the other ones mostly got more of a message to them, which is obviously the whole point of the awards than what Life is Strange does. But they will win just due to being the big name franchise and most people are playing it.
Okay then. So what have we got next? Best performance. Do we care about that?
Yes.
Okay, so we have got Erica Mori as Alex Chen in Life is Strange True Colors. We've got Giancarlo Esposito as Antoine Castillo in Far Cry 6. We've got Jason Kelly as Colt Vaughn in Deathloop. We've got Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu in Resident Evil Village. And we've got Zomi Agakawa as Juliana Blake in Deathloop.
Very well done there, Dave.
Craig.
I feel like the Lady Dimitrescu woman's probably mainly there for the memes. I don't know if anyone was really playing Resident Evil going, "Oh, this is a great performance." You know what I mean? Like,
Not the voice acting. Yeah, I think it was the model they were quite fond of, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because obviously the Far Cry guy is like the big name, isn't he? And games journalists, they want to be movie journalists, and they want this to be like seen as like movie awards as well. So I'm going to go for Giancarlo Esposito just because he's like the big name in it.
You butchered that, Craig. I'm also going to go for Giancarlo Esposito because they want him on stage, they want to hand him an award, they want to add prestige to the Game Awards. So I know that's the most cynical pick I could possibly give. I've also played, the only game I've played is Far Cry, and his performance is very good. So I'm going to go for Giancarlo. Pengy.
I'm going to go for Maggie Robinson, actually, because obviously I think a lot of fans will get on board and vote for her, because like you said, the whole meme thing and stuff like that, I can see her getting quite a few votes. It was her and between her and Giancarlo, I think. I think the Deathloop, if you're a fan of Deathloop, those two characters are going to split the vote, and Alex was fine in Life is Strange, but I don't think, stand out compared to like Ashley Birch or anything. So
okay then. So we've got two very similar awards coming out now. We've got Best Audio Design, which is in-game audio and sound design, which is not the soundtrack, Craig. So that is Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Returnal. So
cool.
What menu music did you like the most?
So again, because obviously my logic of the Forza Horizon 5 and Returnal winning all the awards that they were nominated for kind of butts heads because they're both in it. It's difficult. It's a difficult one. I'm going to go for Horizon 5 because I feel like there was more outrage than there was for Returnal. Obviously, I mean, it deserves the award because the engine noises in that game are so good, and even like the ambient as you're driving around is really good as well. So yeah, I'll go for Forza Horizon 5.
I'm also going for Forza Horizon 5.
I'm also going for Forza Horizon 5.
There we go. It's another clean sweep. So, Best Score and Music, which is a different category. So, that's an interesting selection. So, we've got The Artful Escape, which is obviously a very music-based game. Cyberpunk 2077. Haven't played it yet, so it's curious that that's on here for me. Deathloop, I know in the trailers for the game, it was very heavily pushed for that type of thing. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, because it's got a licensed soundtrack. And Nier Replicant. Craig.
So the Artful Escape soundtrack is very good, but it is also the only like indie in here. So I feel like it is good, but I don't think it's going to win. I had no idea about Cyberpunk or Deathloop. Actually, Guardians of the Galaxy is like that soundtrack is really good. Like I said, there's some bangers on there, but it's all obviously like licensed music, I think. Whereas the Nier Replicant is like composed by the same guy that did the Automata like soundtrack, I believe, like made just for the game. So I feel like that probably should win because that's like maybe more impressive than just going into plus like Marvel's like Guardians of the Galaxy is basically just they just gone to like an 80s playlist and chucked it in there. So yeah, I'll go for Nier Replicant.
I also am going to go for Nier Replicant. Chris.
I'm also going for Nier Replicant.
Okay. Right, so we're on the final stretch. Let's go for Best Art Direction. So yet again, this is a similar sort of thing we're getting now. The Artful Escape, Deathloop, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
Oh god, I'm on the wrong screen. Sorry. So I would say so. This is basically the best like graphics and art style in this award, I guess.
Mhm.
Oh no, what have I skipped? I've skipped the thing. I'm looking at best narrative. I again, Artful Escape. It does look pretty, but I just again, it's the oh no, you got the Kanas, so there are two indie games in there, I guess. I personally would go for Ratchet and Clank just 'cause I think that's probably the one that had the most impressive like technical visuals. I feel like that's will kind of push it more towards winning as opposed to the other ones. So yeah, Ratchet for me.
I think this is a really tough selection of games for this. Actually, I think the only one I wouldn't go for is Deathloop. I think all the other games have some aspect which could be deemed impressive from an art direction standpoint. I'm going to go for Psychonauts 2 because from what I played of it, I just found some of the technical stuff very impressive. Not just because it's a very pretty game, but I just found it just a really impressive game. So I'm going to go for Psychonauts 2. Chris?
I'm also going for Psychonauts 2 because obviously it's best art direction. When like you're saying no Deathloop, but like the whole 60s aesthetic and stuff like Deathloop, I can see why that maybe gets a vote and stuff. But I do think Psychonauts 2, how that looks, it should most probably win.
If there is an award that Keena's going to win, it will be that one though. I will say.
Yeah.
Best narrative. So that's the best story in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange: True Colors, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Psychonauts 2. Craigo.
Again, this is a tough one. I would be. I mean, I know Guardians of the Galaxy. People say like the story is good, but I'd be surprised if that won. Deathloop. I don't know if I heard a lot of people like talking about the story of that game. There seems to be more of the mechanics and the gameplay. It Takes Two obviously has like I'm guessing quite an impactful like family story. So maybe Life is Strange is a game of like completely based around the story, isn't it? So I think it's either between like It Takes Two or Psychonauts. I'm gonna go for Psychonauts just because I think that maybe has like a more like broad like more people might have played it. So yeah, I'll go for Psychonauts.
I think this is a really weird selection of games for this because I feel like like Near Replicant's got a better story than Deathloop. Maybe even Cyberpunk has a better story than Deathloop. But I'm going to go for It Takes Two because I just think that people are going to have like you said, they're going to have such an impact after playing it, and it's really the trendy answer here. So I think that'll be a big part of it. So I'm going to go for It Takes Two. Chris.
Yeah, I think this was a hard one. I don't think there's really any standout of best narrative. You've had previous years where you've had. I know you're gonna vomit into your mic again, but like last year, obviously you had. Was it last year? You had Last of Us Part 2 and stuff, which is like
Vomit.
a standout of like what this award normally wins, and I don't think there's anything like that here. And the closest to that is It Takes Two.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So the penultimate one now, we've got Best Direction, which is again, it's a video game.
This is them trying to be like movie awards awarding it basically.
And I'll be honest, the game selection is really weird for this. So awarded for outstanding creative vision, innovation in game direction and design. You've got Deathloop. Okay. It Takes Two. Fair enough. Returnal. Okay. Psychonauts 2. And Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Now, I don't want to be that guy, but outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. You've literally got a platformer and the 20th Ratchet and Clank game on here. So I don't get that, really, personally. I feel like some indie games could have been in here. But
Always
anyway.
going back to like the category I had just gone, like I could see like Last of Us Part 2 here and stuff like that, and there isn't that sort of thing.
Well, I could even see like as poor as the game was, I could see 12 minutes probably fits that description more than Psychonauts 2.
I can totally see that.
You know what I mean? But okay, we're not the Keeleys. So Craig, which of those do you think is going to win?
So yeah, I'm gonna knock off the two at the end, Psychonauts and Ratchet and Clank. So, actually, I don't see how that's best direction, like you say. I mean, I could see any of the other three. It Takes Two, so obviously, it, focusing so heavily on co-op and reviewing it as well as it did, it's kind of like quite rare and obviously very innovative. I'm going to go for Deathloop though, because I feel like that's going to win this and the next award. Just because obviously it had its kind of roguelike elements to it. And I think that's probably do enough to make it innovative in that direction. So yeah, I'll go for Deathloop.
So for me, it's really down to, do they want the director of It Takes Two or the director of Deathloop to come out and get the award? I feel like it's going to be the It Takes Two guy again, because he's always there. So I think was it Joseph Fares, Chris, that he's called?
Yeah.
So I think it's a him, or is it Bakimba? I can't remember his first name, that directed Deathloop.
Yeah, I don't know the name.
It's kind of his first name, but it's those two. They have directors. As much as I'd love Tim Schafer to come out and get an award, I don't see that happening. So I think it is going to be It Takes Two again for me. Chris.
Yeah, Returnal I could possibly see winning because of the bit of uproar of Returnal. Will a lot of people get behind that? And again with that split between Ratchet, if you're thinking PlayStation fan base. But really the answer is It Takes Two, because it's the one where you think game direction. I know it shouldn't be the thing, but I automatically, when I was saying Last of Us, I automatically think game director. So I'm like, which one of these has got the the famous game director? And It Takes Two.
So there you go. So we're on to the big one.
Yeah.
Game of the year. So the controversial choices we have to choose from here are Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Craig, what do you think wins?
So I think, you have the block vote, the Nintendo block vote, don't you, for Metroid Dread, which you can see forcing
and
that.
most probably the same with Ratchet with PlayStation, but slightly obviously leaning with third party with your Villages and your It Takes Two as well.
Yeah. Although I have seen a lot of that block vote that I'd say for Nintendo, the people who I would say would be part of that, I saw them kind of questioning whether Dread should have even been nominated. So that makes me think that maybe Dread won't win it. I think this is going to be I think this is going to upset everyone, and I think Deathloop's going to win. I think no one's going to be happy with that, because it seems to be very much like a reviewer's darling game, even though I feel like not a lot of people have played it. So yeah, I'm going to go for Deathloop. I think everyone's going to be annoyed.
Ace.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, my brain tells me it's probably going to be Deathloop, but I kind of feel like for the meme of it might be Resident Evil Village, because I kind of feel like everyone's just going to look at it and go, well, I don't really agree with any of the other choices, so let's get behind Resident Evil Village. Because, like Craig said, I mean, I know so many Nintendo fans that aren't fussed about Dread at all. Psychonauts 2 is too ingrained in Xbox to win anything, even though it's a multiplayer game. Chris didn't even mention it as a multiplayer game when he was talking about multiplayer games. I feel like Ratchet & Clank didn't make any splash when it came out. And yeah, so for me, the head says definitely maybe It Takes Two, but I think it might be Resident Evil Village, personally.
It would be quite cool if Village did win that. Yeah.
It reminds me of the year that Dragon Age Inquisition won. People are like, oh yeah, okay. You know what I mean? You're like, that game came out. Village is kind of
that. Out early. Yeah, it came out early in the year as well, didn't it? Like Village did.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it's probably the one that most people have played as well? Looking at that list.
Yeah, that's also the other thing. Throwing that down Deathloop, I see a lot of discourse on Twitter and that. Even myself as well. I've not played it yet because I know it's coming in Game Pass. Actually, I'm getting it for Christmas because there wasn't much else I wanted. But it's gone down to £25 now on PS5, and I wasn't picking it up because I know it's coming to Game Pass, and I see a lot of similar things of that. So maybe not a lot of people played that. So I just grabbed It Takes Two. Could be a great. I can see it picking up quite a few awards here. But I can see people go, oh, it's a weird co-op multiplayer not indie but is indie sort of thing. So I can say that
It's
Metroid
an
Dread.
EA game, Pengy.
Yeah, was EA are the publisher, Hazelight are the actual developers, and they're not owned by EA. So they are.
It's, if it's published by anyone, it's not independent anymore, is it? But there we go.
Yeah, and obviously like Dread, the Nintendo vote. If it's the only one that anyone on Nintendo could play out of here. Dread, like I found it was fantastic, and I do know a lot of people that do like that game, but just if enough of them voted, Psychonauts 2, I think it came and went sort of thing. Ratchet and Clank, bit of thing. So it has to be Village, and it just won Game of the Year at Golden Joystick, so I can see it winning here as well, just because the most people that played it. It's on PC, it's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation, it's on Stadia. It's literally on everything apart from Switch. It's Resident Evil, so it's a big name series, and it's the one that, like I said, most people would have played here. I think that's why it'll win. Just it might not be the best game here, but it's the one that being most played.
I mean, the crazy thing is, so so we've done our list now. Is any of those games in consideration for our game of the year? Because I don't think they are.
One of them is my current number one.
Really? Which one's that? Psychonauts?
No, Metroid Dread.
Dread, right? Okay. So so for me and Craig, Psychonauts is probably in your top 5, right? Village is probably in your top 5.
Yeah, I don't know. So for me, like obviously Forza is.
I don't know where I got Psychonauts 2 at the moment. I will have a look.
Yeah, Forza is my like standout for me, and then I have like a little group that I wouldn't know what would put them in between Psychonauts and Village, so I can understand them being there definitely. So definitely. Psychonauts would probably be the 2 or 3. Village.
Weirdly,
2 or 3.
My number 1, my number 2, and my number 7 are in this.
So for me, I'm obviously the difference of all of us, but none of those are in mine at the moment. I haven't played It Takes Two yet. Me and Craig probably will play It Takes Two before the end of the year. So we'll see if that goes in there. But it's just, for me, it's still ludicrous that Forza isn't in this list. Absolutely ludicrous. But even Returnal, I mean, I feel like just as many people liked that as Deathloop. Just Deathloop got that weird. I think it got weirdly good reviews. It's really bizarre because no one talks about it. And if you watch like streamers or people like that play the game, they're always like, it's an 8, like it's fine. But like the big outlets all went 10 out of 10 straight away, and you're like,
I know a couple of people that have played it and are like, when I've mentioned that I was going to wait for it, they're like, but the game is so good, you can't wait for this game, you need to pick it up right now. I'm like, it's like 60 quid. It's going to be
It's going to be on Game Pass next year.
It's going to be in, at worst case, at £11 in like 12 months time, like plus whatever comes back November as well. Like I said, I'm going to get it for Christmas, and it's 25 quid now. But so it must be good for them going like, you need to spend this 60 quid on this game. But yeah,
it's an interesting one. Psychonauts. It's good to see Psychonauts. I think for how badly the first game was treated, it deserves its sort of time in the sun. And what I've played of it is really great. I just need to get back to it because I'm awful. But yeah, that's the Game Awards. I'm actually definitely not going to watch this show because I can't stand it. I'll watch the trailers afterwards. I just can't stand the Keeleys. It upsets me. So you'll have to let me know what it's like, boys.
Oh, is it 10 days? It's
according to the website, 10 days time. Yeah, so 10 more days of Forza being the best game not on there. But yeah, that's the awards. Obviously, we're going to do our own awards. We'll do them in January like normal people. And I look forward to it.
Again, if we do it in January, like, again, use myself as an example of Deathloop for Christmas, I'll play it over Christmas, and they can know, come January if it is good or not. If you get, I don't know, Dread for Christmas, you can also.
I honestly don't think I'm getting any games for Christmas, so it's it's the only chance to change my list now is probably It Takes Two and Halo, are probably the two, because they're available via Game Pass. That's the only real hope, I think. I haven't really got too much lying around that I bought this year. I haven't played Pokemon, maybe right if I finish that. So I think it's the only Switch game I've bought this year is Pokemon, which is a remake of a DS game. So that's all good. But yeah, we'll do a chat about our game awards. Obviously, we've got the Fantasy League episode still to come as well. It's hotting up. It's really hotting up, the Fantasy League. So we'll see what Halo / Solar Hush does now. It's two
It's
games.
basically
Really.
a who finishes last, basically between me and Chris. I think at this point,
which I think is going to be me, which means I get first pick next year. So
yeah, yeah. If you're not going to be first, you just will be last. I guess.
Yeah, 100%. So that's going to be fun. So, before we go, is there anything exciting you've got planned for this week in the world of games, boys and girls? Chris,
no, more Pokemon. I've finished Pokemon. Halo won't get its new challenges till like Tuesday, I think. So, mostly then when I play some more Halo, and if I've got Pokemon finished, it's mostly when I start Guardians of the Galaxy properly.
Still no mention of Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Absolutely.
The heartbreak. Absolute heartbreak.
Game's dead.
Obviously, I actually get going and play some Guardians properly. Get into that this week. And it'd be the more Forza and more Halo, which is the Xbox kick at the moment, isn't it? What more do you need in your life?
Oh, it's true. I mean, for me, it's going to be lots of Xbox. I think I might start some Gears of War replays. Now they've got the 60 frames. I need Gears 2 and Gears 3. I need to get the achievements on this account because for some reason I just have the multiplayer for them both. So I've definitely finished them. So I must have just done that on Pete's when I live with Pete. So I'm probably going to play 2 and 3 again. Maybe this week. I might even play 5 again because I do need to replay that. It's going to be let's get some more Witcher done before I start something else. I have a big list ready for my backlog. So I kind of want to play Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, but I'm not starting a huge RPG until I've finished The Witcher. So when The Witcher's done, then we'll move on to something else. But yeah, Gears I can do in an hour. I've got a full 12 hours to myself on Tuesday. I could probably do all of Gears 2 on a decent difficulty by myself if I wanted to. So and if Craig's around, I'll just force him in to the co-op. I need my Dom, So so yeah, should be a good week. Well, it's it over, boys, for another week. We will see you next week. If you want to follow us on the socials, you know where to find us. You can find Craig in the streets as you always can. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.